Hello out there, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Please Advise, which I hope is becoming one of your favorite advice channels. Today I have a very special guest, the one and only Mr. Mookie Tolliver.
Yeah.
Thank you so. Hey, thank you so very much for coming out today. Definitely a pleasure to have you. As I started out this season, I wanted to definitely make sure I reached out to a lot of local St. Louis talent because I wanted this season to be not only about the advice, but about local people here in St. Louis, you know, out there every day, you know, doing their thing, making their way, however they make it. So when I started doing research for different types of guests that I wanted to invite, especially musical, I definitely had to have you. We've seen each other time and time again, you know, at different karaoke shows. We'll get into that conversation a little bit later, but I definitely had to have you on the show. So again, thank you so very much for coming out today.
I appreciate the opportunity, man. Definitely. Hey, look, please advise me. Make sure y'all advise for him. Please.
All right, so as I start the show, it's normally customary for me to do first impressions. So I am going to, and I didn't even tell you this before we started, because I didn't want you to already have the thought in your head. So I do want to ask you, what was your very first impression, I guess, of me when we first met?
Oh, man. I was like, man, bro, that turned. You know what I'm saying? Like you had your whole little crew, you know what I'm saying? When you was doing your karaoke, I'm like, it's the energy. You know what I'm saying? You had a lot of energy, man. And I fucks with energy. Definitely any type of people that got good energy, good vibes, man, it's okay with me in my book, you feel me?
That's what's up. I definitely appreciate that. And yes, karaoke. I am a big fan of karaoke. I am not a singer by any means, but what I will do is put on a show.
Yeah.
A show. It's all about the show for me. I can sell a song with a show. I promise I can.
Most definitely.
So, but enough about that. Now let's get to you, Mr. Mookie Tolliver. So, I guess what I want to do today is kind of ask you a couple questions about how you came up, you know, just to give all of the fans out there kind of a behind the scenes look at the man behind the music. Because we all know you from, you know, all of your songs that you've been released. So we all used to grooving with you. We've been to several shows. But I haven't seen a lot of actual interviews that kind of focus on you, the person. And I feel like that's important.
It is.
I feel like that's important. So to start that off, I want to ask you the very first question. How did you come up with Mookie Tolliver, or is that your government?
Okay, so Tolliver is my government. It's my last name.
Okay.
Genuinely. So originally Mookie was a nickname I was given at birth. Growing up, I never really liked the name Mookie because I was being teased when I was younger. Mookie felt like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, Dookie. So I was a little sensitive kid, you know what I'm saying? And they used to get to my skin. But it was like, you know, I lost my mom when I was 9 years old.
Sorry to hear that.
So after I lost my mom, I was like, you know what? I'm Mookie. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because she always called me Mookie, you know. And then I was still like going by Mook the Prince when I was younger. But then one day my cousin Chink was like, Mookie Tolliver. They got a boy Mookie Tolliver right there. And I was just like, Mookie Tolliver? I'm just like, that's it. Yeah, I was like, that's it. Yeah.
Well, that is an interesting story. But I almost stopped you telling the story. Mook the Prince. It was
back then, you know, you had the Lil Waynes, all the littles coming up.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of like Mook the Prince of R&B. That's what I was calling myself when I was younger.
When you say the whole name, Mook the Prince of R&B, I get it. Yeah. But just Mook the Prince, like, who the fuck is this arrogant ass nigga just Mook the Prince?
Of R&B. You know what I'm saying? I used to put that on every song. That was like my intro.
Really?
Yeah.
So I get, and that really leads me to, I guess, my next question. Like, how young were you when you started, I guess, recording music?
I think I was around 15, the age of 15. I first started off writing poetry.
Okay.
And then poetry turned into, you know, actual songs. So I used to, back then, when, you know, you had the AOL start up with the internet, and then, you know, the regular computers, you know, used to have that record and it did like every 60 seconds.
Yes.
I used to actually record and make sure somebody looped the 60 seconds.
Really?
Yeah, until one day, a friend of mine, he go by the name of Big X, but also known as Night as well. He was like, you know what? I'm finna get a studio. I was just like, boy, you lying. And then probably like 2 or 3 weeks after that, he ended up getting a studio at his house. And that's where I actually first started recording at his house. Okay. And then that just led to bigger and better things, you know. I'm talking about record deals when I was like 16, 17.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
We had like a real agent that was like shipping our music out to like different labels. I think Bad Boy wanted us. I think TVP actually declined us. It was a couple labels that like actually wanted us, but the paperwork wasn't correct, so we didn't actually take that.
They will try to get over on the kids, as we've seen time and time again. But before we get into actually that part of it, I do want to still talk a little bit more about your upbringing. Now, I heard you say you lost your mother at the age of 9.
Yeah.
So sorry to hear that. I'm not gonna go into that at all. But what I do want to ask about is, how did you actually, I guess, discover your love of music, or even finding out that you could sing?
Man, so that's crazy. So we was watching Space Jam. I think I was in 3rd or 4th grade, and then R. Kelly did the "I Believe I Can Fly" at the end.
He did.
I was trying to be a class clown, but I was just mimicking R. Kelly, and they was like, "Oh, you know how to sing a little bit," you know what I'm saying? And then it got to the point where later on down the line, my sister, like, she used to always have her friends come over, and her friends was cute. I was young, me and my sister, my sister and I, we like 11 years apart.
Okay.
So
your older sister.
Yeah, my older sister.
Okay.
So it's kind of like you do that math. So it's like upperclassmen type shit. And I'm like, okay,
definitely. You in middle school, them high school girls.
Yeah. So now, they teach you. We in my sister room, and they teach me 112 Cupid. You know what I'm saying? And it was crazy. Yeah, and it was crazy how they was doing. So one person was doing a stomp, and the other person was like. So they just like this, and then the other person like, I'm gonna tell you the lyrics. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in there just learning this stuff, and after I learn, I just got to sing it. So I'm like, okay, the girls like me, so I might as well go ahead and do it. And then when I got in middle school, we had in middle school during lunch, one of the teachers, they be like the mediator, and they have like a microphone.
Okay.
And one of my partners, one of them told me like, "Hey, yo, Mook want to sing," and I'm like, "No, the hell I don't." I'm singing in my head like, "No, the hell I don't." But then after that, he was like, Mookie or somebody here, you said you want to sing. I'm like, dang. So I ended up singing like a B2K song.
Okay.
And then after I sung B2K song, it was kind of like, oh, you know how to sing. Then all the girls came.
And then that's when you became Mookie the Prince.
Yeah, that's when I became Mookie the Prince of R&B.
Oh man, I'm so jealous though. Like when I was growing up, I would have literally sold my soul to the devil to be able to sing. I really would. Like, it seemed like everybody who knew how to sing, that was always popular. Of course, they had all the girls. It was always just a different, I guess, era around them. Yeah. I guess because they actually had a talent. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I've always admired that about people. I promise, if I could have been born with any talent that I could pick, it would have been to sing. It would have been to sing. But hey, we get what we get. Okay, so. All right, so let's go ahead and move forward in time a little bit. So now we get to where, you are Mook the Prince. Are you out here doing performances, or how did the record deal part come?
So I started establishing my name due to talent shows, and then I started going to this after school program called the Upward Bound. So it was kind of like after school program that kind of gave you like a little bit of credit. Okay. And we was kind of doing like college courses. We was going on field trips. So that was in East St. Louis. So it was like different breed of people, and we just like all came together. So I did a talent show there as well. And then somewhere down the line, I end up my sister and I have 2 different daddies. So I ended up meeting her half of the family, and they was like, "Oh, your brother know how to sing. Oh, he should come to this place called the Village Theater."
Okay.
So that was in Centerville, Illinois. So what I didn't know was they air it on TV around that area every 2 weeks, because the show was every 2 weeks. Okay. So I went there to audition. She was like, "Okay, you made the show." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So then that day, that Friday, I told you it was packed. It was always packed, like a good 100 or 200 people. Like, it was like the venue was always sold out every 2 weeks. Yes.
I guess that's across the river thing. Yeah. It must be, because I feel like I would have known about that. Yeah. But anyway.
And so I did my first show. I had a song called Shorty Like 5'5". I actually we sampled one of Luther Vandross songs, Here and Now. We sampled that beat, and I actually did something. And probably like the next 2 days, I started getting phone calls from people that knew me, like, "Yo, you on TV right now?" And I'm like, "What in the world?" And I was in the mall, and some dude walked past me. Then he hit a reverse with his hands in his pocket. He was like, "I saw you on TV last night." And I was like, "Yeah, that was me." And I'm like, I'm not used to it. He just stopped and was just blinking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, was I good? Like, what? Tell me something new to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't look at me like, and I was overhearing girls like, "Girl, that's the dude that was on TV." And I'm like in the mall, and I'm like,
wait, so this must be a really big thing. Well, at that time, it must have been a really big thing over there. Like, I'm surprised I didn't.
Yeah, it was called the Village Theater in Centerville, and this was probably like.
You know, I'm finna Google that as soon as we get done.
Yeah, and that was around. I was like 16 years old,
Okay.
and then that's when we started actually shopping our stuff to like labels.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't recall.
So when you say we, because you keep saying we,
Yeah.
who are these?
It goes back to my homie Big X, or Might As Well, who I was telling you about earlier, who ended up getting the studio. So him and I actually started the music thing together.
Okay.
So
as a group, or
he was just kind of like the producer. He was a producer, so
Okay.
he was making the beats and everything, and I was just coming up with the songs. So we started shipping our stuff out to labels, and we was getting phone calls, and right before it was like probably 5 minutes before I had before my performance at the Village Theater, that's when one of the record labels called me and declined me. Like
so they call decline. They don't just not call back.
No, they called me. Was like, hey, this Mookie the Prince. I was like, yeah. They was like, well, we went over your music and it's kind of not what we're looking for, unfortunately. So yeah, we're gonna decline. And I'm sitting here like, man, but y'all will take that. I don't want to say the person's name, but I'm just like, around that time, I'm like, but you will take this song, but not my song. And it's probably because, granted, my music was timeless. I was doing mature music. Like, I was doing music like how my music is now.
Okay.
I was writing that type of music when I was
when you
younger.
was younger. Oh yeah, I guess
so
that is kind of a hard sell.
Yeah,
it really is, because I the type of songs you sing now, like, you need to have experienced a little bit of life to kind of, I guess, relate to them. So I can understand how at 16 they expect you to be singing about
baby, 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 oh. Baby, 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 oh, like baby. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like some stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah,
So I get that. But I feel like that's commendable though, that at least they called you.
Yeah.
And although they gave you bad news, like I can imagine somebody else sending something in and just never hearing back.
Yeah.
So at least they did actually take the time to review and all that type of stuff. Did they give you any advice? That's what I want to know, because it's hard to tell somebody, hey, we don't want you, without saying, but maybe if this or maybe if that.
See, around that time I couldn't function, and after I heard them say you're not what we're looking for, and I'm sitting there like, what you mean? Like, hold on, you know what I'm saying? And I kind of broke down, and people like, yo, you gotta go on stage next, and I'm like, hold on, man, like, let me. I'm outside the venue, like, hold on, let me go get myself together. You know what I'm saying? I just got declined, you know what I'm saying? Granted, but like, despite that, like, we really did have the agent working where she was calling us, and like, just like her communication was just like up to par. She was like, hey, well, this, well, we're gonna try this, well, we're gonna try it, because we was paying her. Yeah. So it was kind of like I was sacrificing like my money that I was getting from my mom every month, and then he was just getting money from his chores, and we was putting our money together, and we was just like, hey, here, you know what I'm saying, here. So it's like certain deals, I feel like, what, granted they weren't right, but if I knew what I know now, I should have took maybe one of those deals, due to the fact that I would have been probably on the shelf for artist development for probably 2 to 3 years, right? But during that period of time, I would have vocal lessons, I would have dance lessons. Like, they would have prepared myself. You know what I'm saying? They would have prepared me for the future. Right. Therefore, when I did finally come out, or with the money situation, if I made ends meet. Yeah. Right now, I'd have probably been established. I'd have probably already had the established name. I'd have had my own record company. My own record company. Yeah. So I'd have been able to move how I want to move. You get what I'm saying? So I'd have been bigger than what I am, because I would have took that fan base that I did get from them. Yeah. And the loyal ones would have came right along with me.
They would have. They definitely would have. They definitely would have.
I think about that all the time.
Like, I should have took one of them deals.
Yeah.
So when these deals would come along, was they? I don't even know if I know how to even ask the right question.
They weren't that much back then.
No, I ain't even talking about the
it wasn't that much.
The money part of it.
It wasn't that much. I'm like, 75,000. Oh, hold on, like, no.
I don't know. That's a lot. If I was 16,
people was getting a little bit more. They was getting millions and all that type of stuff. So I'm comparing that to that. I'm like, hold on. That's not enough.
That's not enough.
That's not enough.
That's not enough.
I'm spending my only money. I'm getting my only earnings. You want me to give you set? You want to give me set? You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Okay, so I aside from the talent show you did, I want to talk about, like, what was your first show as an established, I guess, artist? Not Mookie the Prince, when you became Mookie. First of all, how did you even make that transition to become Mookie? Like, what made you drop the Prince of R&B?
After I graduated. After I graduated high school, I'm just like, you know what, you finna enter college now. You know, you're going into your adult years.
Yeah.
You can't be no prince. Like, you have to.
You do gotta grow up.
Yeah, you have to grow up. And you have to evolve as an individual.
Okay.
So therefore, you know, shout out to her at Stowe State. That's where I was going. So after that, I was like, you know what, I'm Mookie. I'm already Mookie, so I'm just like,
right.
Just add the Tolliver, which is my real government name. So
okay.
But my first show, I can probably say, me being at the Village Theater, that's kind of was like my first show with like out knowing any people, and it just built more opportunities to the point where she really loved me. The lady, shout out to Miss Fisher, she loved me to the point where anytime they had a community event or anything, she made sure I was on that bill.
Okay.
So I was just going around the community, all in the Illinois area, just community events. Boom, boom, Mookie here. Boom, 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 Mookie there. Then it got to the point where a lot of other people started calling me, and then I started doing other community events, you know, like outside of her, and then I started doing other interviews outside of her, you know. So it was like I started growing. Yeah. Despite me still going to high school, I was still doing these other talent shows. So that's when I started building my name, and then I started doing Sweet 16s. I started doing homecomings.
Oh, you started getting some little bookings.
Yeah, I started doing homecomings, and I was just like, okay, I'm doing something for myself, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, that was all just a growing phase of like who I am today, you know, just all the trials and tribulations, me just growing up with the experience and stuff like that. So
okay, so and I listen, I don't know how to ask questions in chronological order, so we gonna jump a little bit. So I want to talk about when you are not even Mook the Prince, when you become Mookie Tolliver. Are you at this point writing your own music, or have you always written your own music? Or I guess I want to ask kind of about that part of it. Like, how do you, because like you said, you wrote mature songs at a young age. Yeah. So where did that inspiration come from?
Breakups.
So can you really call them breakups though?
No. I mean, I can say heartbreaks. You know,
you can't.
You know what I'm saying? As
love hurts, no matter how young.
But the thing about me is, like, I was always told I was always mature for my age. Okay. So I always listen to old school music. I have an old soul. So I always write about relatable music. Period. So it's like, if I wasn't going through what my partner was going through, you know what I'm saying? If he wasn't going through, it was his partner. I didn't know, but he was telling me about the situation. So it's kind of like I just write relatable music that everybody can, you know, some that actually real people everybody can indulge in. So that's kind of where all of that stuff came from. Okay. You know what I'm saying? But granted, I did, you know, understand the fact that, hey, you know, I had to, you know, kind of come around my age limit when it came to music. So shout out to Roshan Titley, Super Ro. So he was another producer that I started working with outside of mine as well. He used to make beats and everything. He was like, yo, I wrote this, you know, I made this beat and I wrote this song for you. And I was like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? And definitely the song was dope. His pen game crazy. So I don't mind, you know what I'm saying? If somebody come at me with a song and it's presentable and I like it, of course I'm gonna take it, because sometimes you don't always have the time to sit there and write music. You know what I'm saying? Some of your favorite artists don't even write all of their music. You know what I'm saying? I read credits. Yeah, so it's like it's no shame in the game when it comes to all of that. So
I don't understand why there even is shame in the game. Like, you could be able to hit, you know, super notes on stage and perform, but again, at the same time, you may not be able to articulate things that you want to say in your everyday life. So I don't understand where there has to be any shame in, you know, bringing somebody aboard to say, listen, this is how I'm feeling today. Can you put those feelings to this melody? And
it helps elevate you as an artist, because that's just like something like how, if you're not a club person, but this person is, like, they gonna help you make a club song, because it's hard for you to sit there and write something that you don't, you know, live. So
that you don't live. Exactly.
It's just like, okay, boom, you're like, oh, okay, that's nice. So it's like, I mean, but I can't say 95% of my catalog is all me written. But I can say something too. Shout out to Real Noise Inc. He actually, the WID record features Sammy. Yes. So it's like he actually wrote that. So he made the beat. The first verse was already done. He just played it. Was like, yeah, this is my baby. I've been working. I just been sitting on it. And I'm just like, yo, he tripping. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying that to my partner. Like, yo, he tripping. I'm finna buy this whole damn song. You know what I'm saying? So it was like the last verse was all me.
Okay.
The first verse was him, second verse was Sammy. So, you know, he get the credit for that, and, you know, he actually wrote the chorus too. Did he write? Yeah, I think he wrote the chorus. Yeah, I think he wrote the chorus too.
So how did that again, I don't know how to ask questions in chronological order. So how did that whole, I guess, thing come about? Did he come to you like, hey, I got this song I'm working on, I already got Sammy on here, do you want to hop on? Or how did that work?
So how that came about was me just basically doing what I do. I'm a strategic person. I always sit on the internet and I try to do my homework, right, on artists that's either on my level or slightly above, like not major, but people who like on their way to being major.
Yeah.
So I saw this guy, I think his name like Malachi. He had a song called Down featuring Lloyd, and I'm like, you know what? I never heard of this cat, but if he can do a song with Lloyd, I can do a song with somebody.
Correct.
And I was always listening to Sammy when I was growing up, even when, like, I was my man, like, the youngster. So I'm like, let me contact Sammy, because I still listen to Sammy despite everybody else I listen to Sammy. So they shot me the price. I'm just like, ooh, I ain't got no team, I ain't got no financial back end. You know what I'm saying? I was like, just give me a couple months and I'm gonna make ends meet. Yeah. And I was literally putting in work. I was working 14 to 16 hours at my job, like overtime, just putting it in. And like I check in with him like every 3 months, like, yo, I'm halfway there. And you wanna know what made me so mad?
What?
He was like, all right, well, when I finally got out of money, he said, all right, you can just send the deposit now. I'm like, dude, I've been had the fucking deposit. I've been had the deposit 366 months ago. I wish you would have told me this. We could have been already working on the record. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, timing is everything, though. I mean, at least I had all the money, you know.
Correct.
So it was kind of like, hey, once it was
that shows a whole different level of commitment too, when you have all your money right then and there. So, but when you say reach out to Sammy, so are you like, because again, I don't know a lot about this industry. This, you know, is my first time even, you know, conducting interviews basically. So how does that, because I know how I reached out to you. I just found you on Facebook and hey, you know, so, but to reach out to somebody that I feel like is, you know, more established, how does that process kind of go?
It was just via email. And it was via email, and then they and I learned so much from their email process and how they respond and how they format everything. So I'm just like, damn, I don't think I'm ready for all this. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, hold on, I'm not all the way articulate like this. So I'm like, hold on, now I gotta sit here and I gotta really conserve myself with how I'm gonna word everything to make myself sound business oriented when it's just me. But one of my gems is I do have an alter ego, which is my middle name is Jamal. Okay. So I portray to be this Jamal character, which is a representative for Mookie Tolliver. So that's how I go about it. I have two phones. So one phone is Jamal, and the other phone is Mookie Tolliver. So I'm the representative for Mookie Tolliver. So
and Mookie Tolliver.
Yeah. So if you know what I'm saying. So
wait a minute. Wait, because wait. Let me, because we're not just gonna breeze by that. So Jamal represents Mookie Tolliver. You are Mookie Tolliver. And you are Jamal.
So with that being said, Jamal is the person I can go to where I can cut off all type of ties with people. You get what I'm saying? So
Jamal is that guy.
Yeah, so it's like if people contact me, I'm like, yo, what's going on? Thanks, appreciate you for reaching out. Hope all is well. But I'm Jamal, representative from Mookie Tolliver. But hey, this is a set price right here. Mookie Tolliver is the one to be like, oh yeah, it's all good, big dog. You know what I'm saying? But Jamal is the one who cutthroat. Like, nah, you got this? You got that?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So Jamal is the much more manager-wise move that you would get. So yeah. Like when Mook ready for that money, I Jamal.
Listen, I get that.
Yeah,
I get that. I now that you explain it, because I was gonna go another direction and be like, so is Jamal drawing a check or? But no, I get that, because you do have to, you know, be the bad guy sometimes, you know, and like you said, Mookie will be the guy that's like, hey, you know, come on, let's get it going, and then Jamal is the one where you have to turn to, like, hey, right, you know, so I get that, I had to have an explanation,
and it's always good to have somebody that represents you. It says a lot about you. So that's where when I start learning, I'm like, yeah, Jamal finna be representing Mookie Tolliver all day long. You know what I'm saying? So definitely when it comes to me trying to book outside shows outside the state, like, hey, this is Jamal.
Okay.
I feel like this would be suitable for both of you guys. It's a win in both categories. So I'm going to sell Mookie Tolliver as soon as possible. You know what? I actually got booked off Instagram for a private dinner. It was a young lady. She wanted to throw a dinner for her boyfriend at the time. It was his birthday, but he had recently lost, I think, his grandfather or his father, one of them.
Okay.
And it was like a rooftop downtown St. Louis. And I was Jamal. Texting from this phone. And she booked me, and I was able to make, I think, like $450 or something like that. And I called up one of my partners, Timothy, and he played the guitar for me. You know, it was just one. It was intimate.
Okay.
You know, rooftop,
like acoustic.
Intimate, just those two. And I was like, you know what? I'm like, hey, you know, I gotta cover some things for Mookie Tolliver. So I won't be there, but I'm about to forward you Mookie's number, and Mookie's gonna contact you when he's outside. So I hit her up from the iPhone. So I hit her.
Jamal got an iPhone.
No, Jamal has the Android. Yeah, Jamal has the Android. Mookie has the iPhone. So I forward Mookie her number. Okay. And then Mookie contacted me like, y'all I'm outside.
Oh, that's funny.
But that's a gem though for y'all looking out there. Y'all can, you know what I'm saying? You can be your own manager.
Listen. It works. Yeah. I can see how it works because again, somebody has to be the bad guy sometimes. Because there are some people that's gonna come to you and you're gonna be like, hey, you know. So I like how you have that level of separation because again, eventually you're gonna need it anyway.
Correct.
So you might as well already be used to that kind of separation, I guess. That is a good idea. Advice. Advice. Okay, so now we move on from, you know, you starting to reach out to record labels, you know, you getting some rejections, you getting some yeses. So tell me about the first, I guess, big yes.
Man, you want to know something too? Regards to that, so I had a song called Out of My System.
Okay.
Sent it to the record label. You know, the lady was shipping off and shopping it off or whatever. 8 months after that, who comes out with a song called Out of My System? Bow Wow and T-Pain. Not saying they stole my my whole idea, but yeah.
Wait a minute. Wait. I'm not.
Because I mean, I know, you know, shout out to Jonte Austin. I know he wrote that as well. But it's just like the idea though, and I was shopping out to labels. You get what I'm saying?
So let me hear some of your Out of My System, because I know theirs.
So the concept of it was like, I can't get you out of my system, talking on the phone day and night. You know it playing right, and I can't get you out of my system. And I think like and what we can't be, and I can't get you out of my system.
Right.
So it was one of those, and then what is it? Can't get you like. Well, I forgot what T-Pain was saying. You know,
right? But
like the out of my system, out of my system. I'm like, hold on. But then it just wasn't that though, because who has it? I think Marcus Houston has a song called "Grown Man," and that beat, I remember Steve and I, Might As Well and I used to this is back when CDs was popping. People used to actually purchase CDs.
Yeah,
and I think it was a Rihanna record, and we sampled and put it in reverse.
Oh,
and that same beat that we had for our song, Marcus Houston had that same type of beat. That's like reverse, but I was just like not saying they probably stole it.
When you say reverse, I'm not very musical, so
like how you know how the beat is, they like put the beat in reverse, so like everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's like everything going backwards. You get what I'm saying? And I'm like, hold on, we heard that Grown Man Love. And I'm like, hold on, this sounds like my song, Girl, You Said You Wasn't Feeling. I'm like, this sounds exactly like the same freaking beat. And I'm sitting there like, what in the world? And it's like we shopping our stuff, but it's just like our ideas is bouncing off other people. That's what it seemed like.
I can see that. I can see that. I mean, even in everyday, I guess, interactions with people, you may say things in conversation, and then the next thing you know, you look online and somebody that made a post that's saying, you know, your words. So I can see how. Man,
yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy. So they change it just enough to. I'm not accusing anybody of anything.
Neither am I. That's why I say it's a coincidence.
It is
a coincidence, though. Like a lot of this stuff, it's coincidence. Like really.
It is a lot of coincidence. Okay, so you still never told me the first big yes though, because you kind of diverted into a story about that.
I think I forgot what record label it was though. Jesus, I forgot. It was a well-known record label that gave us a yes, but like I said, the money wasn't actually correct. But then it was a yes that we got, and this time it was actually 3 of us. So it was me, Might As Well, and was another person. This person, Might As Well, mom was finna sign off for us. Okay. This person said, "No, you ain't gotta sign that. We'll get our own record deal. We get our own money." She like, "Oh well, since all y'all don't want to agree upon it, I'm not finna sign it."
So it's an all or nothing type.
And
but y'all all wasn't.
But this person wasn't even a part of our group. He was just a homie. And he rapped every now and then. So she.
So he was just on one of y'all tracks that I guess y'all shopped around.
Yeah.
And she thought that he was.
And she took that in consideration.
Stop it.
And yeah, he just stopped it for us. And she like, "Well, I'm not signing it if y'all all don't agree on it."
So did this guy sign with obviously, what's going on with this guy? Did he continue to be a rapper or
he was just doing it for fun?
No, I'm talking about now.
No,
like now that he done fucked it up for y'all.
He's not rapping at all. He's not rapping at all. Might As Well still engineer. You know what I'm saying? And produce for artists. I'm still doing my thing, but
Nah. So he didn't want to. I mean, if he didn't want to be an artist,
I know. But that didn't have anything to do with him. But she took it as, well, all y'all friends, because all y'all play on the same basketball team, you know, stuff like that. So it was like, he always over here with y'all. So I
you know what? That's why St. Louis niggas don't like to be grouped in groups. Yeah. That's exactly why when people refer, they always say, be like, whoa, them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think that's a St. Louis thing, because it seems like every time I talk to somebody, and then, you know, especially St. Louis, dudes in particular, when you try to group them in certain groups, they're like, nah, I ain't with them, you know. Yeah. I'm here, and they here too. But I ain't.
Don't put me with them. I'm a person.
Okay, so we're going to fast forward a little bit. Okay, so you do sign a record deal. You start making music. So the first song that you released.
If I was with the record, I had a song called Looking At Me. I feel like it was very crossover-ish. It had like an acoustic guitar type. Okay. And I felt like it was actually in my age bracket. I felt like that would have been the first single. Like literally, like, yeah, Looking At Me would have been that. I don't know, because Shorty Like 5 for 5 was like a hood anthem, though. Yeah, Shorty Like 5 for 5 looking at me with the brown eyes. Like, I think that was like the hood. I told everybody in my whole hood was singing it, and it was just like, it was just the anthem. Like,
really?
Yeah, it was the anthem. Like, Shorty, that's what set me apart when I first started recording Shorty Like 5 for 5. That was, it was a rap. It was a rap.
What was the first song of yours you heard on the radio?
The first song of mine that I actually heard on the radio. I think I had a song called "Blame It On Me." So it's much more of a club. It was kind of out of my comfort zone, but it's like blame it on your nigga. Don't blame it on me, because he be on bullshit. That's the shit I don't need. So it was kind of one of those where it's like, hey, you got a gal, but like fuck that. I'm gonna go ahead and do my thing. I'm a driller and send it back to you. So now his problem became my problem. And I'm like, don't blame it on me. Blame it on me. Yeah, don't blame it on me. So it was one of those. And shout out to DJ Chris Style, because I remember I approached him about it. And he was like, just send it to me. And then like that next day, he was playing it, and they played it on the radio like almost every Sunday for like 8 months straight. And then it got over to like regular rotation, where it was sometimes I heard it on a Friday, like midnight, or it was like a Thursday. Like I'm at White Castle's in the line. I heard boom, boom. I'm like, hold on, this me. Hold on. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was just like random times. Yeah. Like, as I grew, I'm like, you know what? I should have followed back with that. I should have shot like a music video, and I should have continue to build a relationship with him. So that's why I say everything's just a learning process with me. So I was new to it. I really didn't have no mentors. I really didn't have a correct team that was behind me, or anybody saying like, you should do this, you should do that. Everything I was actually learning was on my own. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So it's like now I developed to the point where now, okay, I can reach out to a couple of people who are like kind of mentors to me. Like I have one, Sonny Metcalf. He's always at the Demetrius Johnson Center a lot. He's best friends with MC Hammer. Okay. He had a group called Guess that was actually on tour with NWA at one point.
I want to say Guess.
Yeah, they was from St. Louis, an R&B group called Guess.
I want to say I remember. That name sounds familiar. I probably have to.
But like a lot of people started with Sonny, like Roland that does choreography.
Okay.
Like a lot of greats that actually started like that's like doing major things now. Started like working with like Sonny Metcalf and stuff.
That's what's up.
Yeah, that's actually where I met J-Var. I met J-Var through Sonny Metcalf. I met a lot of people.
You saying these people names and I don't know who they are, but
I
mean, like, Sonny Metcalf, I've heard his name just because, like I said, I've been doing research in the industry for a couple of weeks, so I've heard his name. But when you say like J-R and whatever name you just said, I don't know who these people are, but you know.
Yeah, it's a lot of people that I just met. That's actually how I met Orlando Watson. I met Orlando that does like he's a promoter.
Okay.
He does like a lot of shows like at the pageant and all that type of stuff. So he's like Rock House Records. So it's like if you heard of Maya Lee and Brad Young, all the type of people are associated with, you know.
Okay. And that's another point. Like I said before we even got on camera, it is a lot of talent. It's a lot of influential people in St. Louis, but I always wonder what's the big disconnect between moving out of the local St. Louis area and just like being out there. Is it a exposure thing? Is it a like I want to talk to somebody who has been established for a while that may be able to provide a better answer to this question. So that's why I'm asking you, like, what, if anything, has stopped you from moving to that next level?
So moving to the next level, opposed to like moving out of state, or just like really
not even move out of state. Like
I think so. What it is really marketing and just having the right team behind you. Okay. Like right now, I'm slowly building my team, and it's just basically just growing as an artist. And you actually realize like marketing is the most important thing. You can have a hot song, but if you don't have a good marketing scheme behind it and a good marketing plan, then it's like, how are you supposed to get heard? You know,
and that's my question right there. Like we have a multitude of talent here in St. Louis area, and I can listen to the local radio stations, and I hear their songs in rotations every now and again, but then I don't hear it nowhere else, So that's what I'm wondering. Is that marketing?
Yeah, so it's all about marketing, just reaching out to different music outlets. Also, what I learned was getting a PR. A PR is going to be the people that's going to put you on blogs. So you're going to be all over the internet on certain blogs. Like, I mean, they actually have the stuff out now where you got PRs where they'll put your stuff on Yahoo, you'll be on Forbes, you'll be on like any type of platform. This is R&B, like Hip Hop Weekly, New York Scenery, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Brittany Burden. She actually put me on a lot of that stuff. She actually a PR for SZA. Okay. And I was actually honored to work with her. You know, she did a couple PRs for me for my first EP album, All About Love. So she did that PR work for me. But yeah, it was like all that stuff is just like the PR is very, very good for you because you're on blog sites and that helps solidify you as an artist. Yeah. You know, being on blog sites.
Okay. I get that. I think I do want to. Okay, so your first EP. How did that process go? Like, did you write all the songs, or I guess my question is as far as the recording, process. Because again, I don't know anybody else, that is as established as you are. So, I mean, I know people that may have been in the studio once or twice. They did a little hook here, made a little song there, but didn't really do nothing. But you are like an established artist with like music out there. Yeah. So I want to know how did that whole process, work? So
to be honest, that album took me probably like 6 years because I was because it was to the point where I was procrastinating. And like I said, I was still trying to find my way as an individual artist. I mean, I didn't have a team. I didn't have this. I really didn't have no direction. So it's like a couple of those songs that you heard are very timeless. Like a lot of those songs that's off my album are from like 2010.
Really?
I wrote those in 2010.
Like which one?
Confused was like old. What actually old? Complicated is old. What else? But
it don't sound timeless. Like, I mean, obviously I knew you was coming today, so I, over the last, week and a half, I've been heavy on Mookie on my rotation. So when I hear those songs, I'm like, you know, like again, relatable music. I can always relate to it, and I'm like, oh, you know, and that's why I asked, why is it not out there more? You know, because I mean, in my own humble opinion, as I like to call it, I mean, you write, you sing great, and it's good feel good music. Like even like how you sometimes come in with the piano intros, and then it's just voice. Like even how we just spoke before we got on camera about sometimes a lot of artists, they feel like it's all about the riffs and the runs and, you know, all of this and all of that. But you sing, my nigga. Like, like for real. Like, I remember, like, I don't know how old you are, but I'm 38. So when I came up, I could remember artists who really had to sing, you know, like Joe and like, you know, R. Kelly and, you know, Usher, you know.
Cisco.
Yeah, like you really had to know how to sing. And not saying that the new dudes don't know how to sing, but what I'm saying is either they don't though. Yeah. They don't. It's a lot of auto-tune.
And that's, you know, that's why R&B has to get back to its full circle, because now like a rapper is considered R&B now just because he put a lot of auto-tune and he harmonized. Now
and it's not even harmonizing because it's auto-tune.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, like I miss when, like I said, when I was growing up in middle school, high school, if a nigga knew how to sing, he was that dude. Yeah. He really was. And I was so jealous. But anyway, but that's what I'm saying. Like, people used to really have to know how to sing, and you sing.
Appreciate that.
You really do. You really do. You really do. So, again, and that's why I think I enjoy your music so much.
Appreciate it.
Because you sing. And like I said, a lot of the newer guys coming out, like I don't want to say no names, you know, but I feel like they probably can sing, but they don't have to. And for me, for you to actually sing, that shows a whole different level of dedication. And it also shows where you come from.
Yeah.
It definitely shows where you come from. Because again, when we was young, I assume we, within 6-7 years of each other, you know, they used to have to know how to sing. And, you know, to get famous, to be noticed and all that, like niggas sang notes. And again, I was always so jealous. But that's amazing. That's amazing to me.
Appreciate that.
It really is. It really is.
You want to know one of my most excited and most like memorable moments in my life and my music career was actually I was with my partner Killer B. He did after party for Drew Hill, and I didn't know Drew Hill was actually going to be at the after party. So normally when he DJs, I'm kind of like on the mic just hyping stuff up. So I'm sitting there like, oh, he started playing Drew Hill music, and then there was another guy. He was on the mic. He was like, oh snap, we got Drew Hill in the building. I'm like, oh snap. So I'm singing every word but every other word. Yeah. So one of the guys from Drew Hill approached me, was like, yo, if you go sing, guys, you go sing it right, because, and I turned him around and said, hold on, bro, celebrity or not, you're not finna disrespect me as a man. I was just trying to respect y'all by not over singing y'all song. You get what I'm saying? So he like, whatever. So they got to singing. It was crazy. They actually asked me to come with them on the stage, and I sung with them at the after party.
Really?
Literally. Like I sung Beauty Is Her Name with them. I sung, it was another joint I sung. And then the highlight of my life was when Cisco himself handed me the mic and let me sing Incomplete.
Really?
That was the highlight of my life. Like, and I'm sitting there like, I ain't got none of this on 4K. But like back then, this was probably like 2013, 14, or 15. It was like around that time. So I'm sitting there like, bro, I don't got none of this on film. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, but I'm literally like singing. I'm side by side, bumping shoulders with
Drew
these
Hill.
cats.
Like I mean, and people think like Drew Hill, you know, but for us, Drew Hill was like, and again, because they sang. Yeah. They sang. Like you could put on a Drew Hill record, and you know, like they were singing. Boyz II Men, Jodeci, you know, like they sang. These new guys, they could sing a little bit, I guess. You know, but but again, it's so much auto-tune and it's so much bass and it's so much hip hop. You know, I don't even know if, and again, this is my humble opinion. I don't know if it's no major real R&B artists even out there.
You want to know where our major R&B artists are?
Where?
They're just not our color. So you know where all our original soulful R&B music went? You got to think about the Sam Smiths and stuff like that who's doing our music. Wow. In our music outlet, we're doing something completely different with our R&B artists. But we're giving them our people stuff.
They are getting songs, ballads, ballads. Like Sam Smith, ballads.
And you would think that was a brother. You get what I'm saying? But you
when I heard it, when I heard the new music that comes out from even some of the female, singers, when they sing these big songs, and I'm just thinking like, I feel like that should be, one of us singing it. I feel like, not that they don't do it well,
right.
Not that they don't do it well, because they do, they absolutely do. But you miss that.
It's our culture. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I missed it. And again, that's another reason why I enjoy your music so much, because again, you sing. You sing. You really do. You really do. You really do. So, before you, I don't know how long we've been talking, but we've been talking for a while. But before we leave, I definitely want to play around the word association. But I do want to know, like, what's next? What's on your horizon?
Woo! So, as you guys do know, or if you guys actually tune in, you guys to tap in with me, you'll see that I actually have 2 major features. I have a feature with Dondria called Forever, then I also have the feature with Sammy called WID.
Yes.
I'm currently working on some more major features, so my whole objective is to continue to level up. So I'm focused on doing that right now, more shows, more music videos. And when I say music videos, I have one that I'm currently working on to Love Me. Okay. But I'm trying to reach out to a couple of
I know these, as you said, the titles of the songs. Like I know these songs because, again, not only because of I knew you was coming, but because, again, when I listen to those songs, I'm like, oh, this a cut.
Appreciate
this a cut. Not only am I listening to it because it's research, but like I really like this song. Let me go ahead and add this to my my little slow jazz playlist. You know what I'm saying? Like okay.
Sorry. I'm actually now you good. I'm actually trying to reach out to a couple of people that played in like movies. Okay. Like real celebrities to actually help me out with this.
You are a real celebrity. Stop saying real celebrities.
No, I'm saying that like I'll tell you basically when this clip is over. But I'm just saying, I'm reaching out to some main key people that everybody will notice them because of movies in the past that they did as a group. Okay. And be like, oh, hold on, he got them in that music video of Love Me? Oh no, like it's like he snapped, it's a rap. So it's kind of like that's my own focus, and I'm just kind of to the point where now I'm trying not to announce everything until after it's done. You know, so after the deal is actually sealed, or because sometimes you can kind of burn bread on your set. But I understand they always say manifestation, but sometimes
but
it's always a
you don't want to be having people expecting a manifestation. So I definitely get that. I definitely get that.
So I'm just trying to basically keep all my eggs in the basket and just move accordingly and then announce accordingly.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. So, do you have anything that you can announce that's upcoming? Because I know you literally just did a show. What, like maybe a week and a half ago? Yeah. You just did a show. Yeah. So, is there another show that I can look forward to on the horizon?
I got reached out to about October 17th. I still don't know all the full details. Okay. But I do know it'll be a major artist included. I just don't know the name 17? Yeah, I just don't know the name yet. Okay. But yeah, just October 17th. Okay. That's all I've been told so far. So I'm still waiting on everything, all the information. And then due to the new COVID restrictions, it's kind of very hard because I was going to throw another concert.
Fucking Delta.
Yeah. I was going to throw another R&B concert, and I had like I was going to have a celebrity host who was well known. Okay. And then I was going to bring another R&B artist who's like well known down here as well. and we was gonna do the thing, but due to the new COVID restrictions and stuff like that, it's kind of difficult with getting everybody to be on one course, because a lot of people, they either have to be vaccinated or you have to take a rapid test. A lot of people like, I'm not gonna take no rapid test, so it's kind of the attendance was just like, so I'm just like, I just have to wait it out and then just redo it.
But that's what's up though. 10/17 though. I'm
10/17.
10/17. This episode will be released by then, so so 10/17. Okay, so but okay, so and another question that I did want to ask before we okay, so what's off your new EP? Is it the right term?
Yeah.
What is your favorite song on there?
Whew, Love Me. It has to be.
Is that your favorite song?
Love Me, because it was like the last song I actually recorded for my EP, and it was it just shows you and solidified the growth that I had within me. A fun fact about that, I actually freestyled that whole song. Yes, I freestyled it. I heard the beat.
Okay, so when you say freestyle,
I didn't write.
You just stood in the studio and just...
No, so what I did was I listened to the beat a couple times in my car.
Okay.
And I just hit record on my phone, like a video record, and I freestyled. Like, I just sung how I felt about the whole song, and I replayed it, and I went back and I rewrote everything, and I probably critiqued only 2 errors in that song, but other than that, everything else was flawless.
Really?
Just as well as everything. I did everything the same way. I played the beat and just like, what, boom,
Because I know this song. So when I think of the song and I think of when you say freestyle, so you hit record, and do you because that's a higher notice song.
It's just off the top of the head.
Really?
None written, none scripted. It just went off the top of how I was feeling.
But as I listen to your catalog, a lot of your songs are kind of the in the upper registry. Is that how you like to sing, or is that just Mookie?
Me just developing, because at first I was kind of one dimension when it came to me writing. I was just I'm like, what? I gotta play with my vocals. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm very talented, but people have never heard my vocals because I don't play with it enough. And then when I start actually playing with it, so it's kind of like when you write music, you one dimension. You go sing it how you wrote it. But when you just like off the top of the head, you feel it, you get to finagle it any type of way. So it just comes off as much more broad. But I mean, outside of Love Me, I can say Forever featuring Dondre was like my favorite song, just the simple fact that I actually wrote that whole song.
Oh, and even her part too?
Even her part, and I wrote it about me from my past experience. So I was actually talking to myself in that song. And the crazy thing about it is her verse is like one of the most, I can say, quotable verses. Like all over Twitter, I was seeing everybody quote her verse, and I'm sitting there like, yo, that's me all day, you know what I'm saying? But people like, man, she went off. And I had
she did,
and I had people that was doing YouTubers, like famous YouTubers that got like 200-300K followers, like reacting to the video. And they was like, yo,
when you start getting reactions,
and they was like, she went off. I'm sitting there like, that's really
she did. Even again, when I know these songs. So, but my favorite song, because obviously I want to say my favorite song, it has to be My Life.
My Life.
It has to be. When I first heard that one, I think that was when I really became like a fan, because I'm a fan. I enjoy your music, but I am actually a fan. When I first started doing this research, like I said, when I was gonna reach out to you, I was like, I don't know, he got this going on, got that going on, I don't know. But I'm so glad I did decide to go ahead and reach out. But when I think that song is what did it for me, like not only the singing, but the lyrics, the words. Did you write that song?
Yeah, I wrote that.
I felt it.
Appreciate it.
Because I don't want to fan out. So I felt that song. And even though I've not experienced that, I can definitely relate to it just because of the way you sing it. And like I said, for me, that's the biggest thing that's missing, in R&B currently, is the actual singing. The girls, they sing. The girls, they definitely do sing, but none of the guys really sing, in my opinion. Not since Chris Brown and Chris Brown and Neo and Trey. Not since them three kind of came out together. Mm-hmm. Anybody beyond that, I don't hear no real singing. And again, that's just me.
You should listen to the guy named Jay Howe. You should listen to Pink Sweat.
See, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. You are. And when I like I said, I've heard a lot of good singers here locally. I have, but when I say established singers, that's what I mean by they not singing no more. Like I don't know. They auto tuning. You
want to know what's crazy about that? My life and being basically talking about my mom.
Yeah,
she actually has an identical twin.
Really? Mm-hmm. Oh, I bet that's hard.
It's a pro and a con.
Yeah.
I mean, but we really have probably 8 or 9 sets of twins in my family.
Oh, okay. There ain't no twins in my family, so everybody is their own person.
Like my grandma's actually identical twin, so it's like uncles, twins, cousins.
Oh, okay. So it's common.
Yeah, it's common in my family.
Yeah.
Twins are very common. So my sister had the twins, so I may not have the twins. You get what I'm saying? But if I do, hey,
yeah. I mean, obviously, hey, but what you gonna do?
Hey.
Not if I do, hey.
Like it is what it is, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay. Oh man. Okay. Okay. So before we leave, yes, I definitely want to hear you sing. I heard you do a little couple of snippets here and there, but now we're gonna get into the actual word associate game. So again, I'm gonna go out to. I only got 3 words. I only got 3 words for you.
I hope I know these.
I only got 3 words for you, and they should. I'm just gonna tell you the 3 words, and then we'll see what you come up with. Right. Okay, we're not gonna do no time or nothing, but if you take too much time, I'm gonna buzz you.
Right.
Okay, so the first word is again. These are easy words. The first word, love.
Love, so many things I've got to tell you, but I'm afraid I don't know how, because there's a possibility that you look at me differently. Love, Music Soul Child, love.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love that song. That song takes me back. I'm an old man. That's what I was in. I don't know, I think maybe a junior in high school when that came out. I think. And you know what? That's another good thing about when you actually sing songs. It takes you to a time in your life where you can actually relate to that song. Like, even though I don't think I was in love at that time, right, or even known what he was singing about, but the emotion behind his singing left that impact, and that's what I miss.
You feel like you was in love, like, I love you,
right? Like, bitch, I love you. Who? Fuck you, mean?
I don't know. Shit.
No, but I love. Okay, the second word, life.
Life has its ups and downs. I'm just trying to make it. Don't take it for granted.
Yeah, I'm trying not to sing with you, but
My Life by Mookie Tolliver.
Yes, a cut.
In front of man, single parents' household with no dad. That's sad as hell, cause she went there. But why you walk on me though? You don't understand. Mama can't teach me to be a man. She did all the things that she could do. She taught me the things that she's supposed to. Mama, miss you. R.I.P. to you. I wish you was still here. You don't understand all the things I've been through. Life is so hard. It's a struggle without you to run to. No. Yeah, but actually, shout out to my pops. We reacquainted, man. We like this. We love you, pops. You know what I'm saying? So.
You know what? I too have recently reconnected with my daddy. Like my biological father, I put it that way. When I grew up, they weren't together, but I had a stepfather. No, seriously, no. Like, he's been in my life since I was 3. I love him as my own father, but I never knew my biological father until a couple of years ago. So that part, especially when you said the part about, of course I forgive him. Like, you can't hold that.
Yeah.
Like when I was younger, I did think like, you know, fuck that nigga, you know, yada yada yada, but it takes you to grow up. And again, he reached out to me, and you know, of course I forgive him. You know, he's my daddy. You know, I'll just leave it there. That part stuck with me the most. Of course, I couldn't relate to the other part you were singing about, of course, but I can definitely relate to reacquainting with, you know, a father figure, and of course I forgive him. Of course, of course. Okay. And then the last word. Touch.
Jesus. Boom, 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 boom. Touch. Don't.
Okay.
Turn the lights off. Oh, baby, by the way. Oh, baby, by the way. Don't you know I love you? Don't you know? Just back into it and let it touch and move and let it. Hey, I was a big Omarion fan growing up, a B2K fan. Like, literally, you could look. When I was growing up, you couldn't tell me shit about IMX/Immature, and B2K/Omarion. You couldn't tell me because they made the best music, and the Corner Boys was like, their production was just so
I can't speak too much on B2K. They was a little young when I was grown. But I can speak about IMX/Immature. Yeah, and people forget about them. They really do. When you talk about old groups, you know, they immediately default to like Boyz II Men, to Jodeci. Don't ever sleep on Immature. Don't ever sleep on Immature.
I will never lie.
And they was young boys singing grown-up music. They really was. Again, one of those songs where you like, you know what? I might lie again. Like I don't know if I'm to the point where I'm not gonna lie again. But I feel you. I feel you.
Then I feel you. Very first in the house on the couch, and everybody can relate to it. You can relate. First time. Like, so it's like,
yes. I don't know if my first time was quite like they described theirs, but
I mean, it is what it is. I had a first time, so everybody relates to that.
Everybody relates to their first time, no matter who, what, where, how. Everybody does relate. Right. Oh my God, this has been great. Again,
appreciate it.
I do want to wrap it up because I feel like we've been talking for a really long time, but I could talk again for hours and hours. You've been a great guest.
Appreciate that.
Thank you so much for coming through. You have opened up. You have shared, you know, your life, your experiences. You sung us a couple of songs. You have literally done everything that I have wanted you to do. Again, I'm trying not to fan out because again, and it's not even because you like such this big celebrity, but again, you are local talent that I can actually relate to. And again, my nigga, you sing, and I love your music, and I'm a fan.
Appreciate that. Really do.
I am a fan. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much. And again, everybody out there, thank you so much for, you know, watching the show. Please continue to like, share, subscribe. Remember, 1017, look out for this man's name in some upcoming show. I feel like he gonna tell me after the camera shut off, but anyway, 1017, stay tuned. Thank you guys so much for watching the show. Until next time.